What's your understanding of Project 2025? It's playing a role as a buzzword in our politics at the moment.
Yeah, the Democrats have a concerted strategy of running against Project 2025. They have elevated it to this pivotal position to the extent that Donald Trump has kind of distanced himself from it. Like you, I have not read through all of it. Yes, it's policy ideas from the Heritage Foundation, some of which I agree with and some of which I don't. The Heritage Foundation has gone in a kind of more right-wing populist direction on foreign policy. I sort of agree with some of those ideas on sort of markets. I think it's an unhealthy direction, very wanting tariffs and all those kinds of things. I think if there's a broader guiding principle in it, they are, and I think this is the part of Project 2025 that has most freaked out Democrats or liberals, is the idea is like getting rid of bureaucrats, which I do actually think is a good idea.
Of course it is.
And this idea that, Donald Trump made the deep state coined that phrase, or made it a phrase that everyone knows what it is now. And then people on the other side want to pretend it's not true. No. There is not this massive federal bureaucracy of progressives who are running the government independent of what any of the political leadership says. Now we're in this moment with Joe Biden, so clearly out of it, where they're trying, like the defense, his people are saying, don't worry about this. There's this permanent federal bureaucracy of deep-seated ideological progressives who are actually running the government, which is exactly what the deep state theory is. Correct. So look, I think, and I would think this way, if Democrats come in and there's a massive federal bureaucracy full of right-wing people. I mean, imagine if that were the case. That's insane. But obviously they would replace them to implement the policies they want. The idea that, this is what I really don't like, is Fauci-type people who have just in government forever and have their own agenda and operate in a basically progressive way, but are independent of political considerations. Well, I don't think that's a good system. And to the extent Project 2025 is taking aim at some of that, I do support having democratic accountability, having the people who actually win office. Not that this is the greatest system ever, but it's better than having a permanent government class that just does whatever they want and has no accountability.
This is the thing about the protect our democracy sloganeering that cuts in a lot of directions. It's as if they're swinging like a mace around, and every so often it hits them in the face and they just keep swinging it. It's like, okay, so you're the protect democracy crowd, but you're now aligned to kick out the guy that actually won the primary for your own party. So that's weird. You're the protect democracy crowd, but you're really upset that the Supreme Court has limited the power of the unelected administrative state with the Chevron deference ruling.
Yes.
So wait, but so you realize what that means. Well, how do you understand the Chevron case?
Yeah,
it's tied to this stuff.
Absolutely. This was an outcome that many libertarians, including myself, have wanted for a long time. Just saying that the administrative agencies, they can't just make their own rules. Our system gives, under our original conception of how the U.S. government works, gives most of the powers to the legislature. Says Congress makes laws, and then the presidency carries them out. And what has happened over time is that Congress no longer wants to do anything, govern, legislate. It's reality TV, it's entertainment. They just want to talk on TV, yell at each other. They're not really doing anything. So the executive has supreme power, and then this independent bureaucracy just does all of the policies they want. The level of deference they've gotten to do that has been very bad. So this ruling is just saying, no, if you're going to totally wholesale invent a new policy and you're some agency of the federal government, no, you need a clear mandate from Congress to do that. That is pro-democracy. That's saying the people we vote into office, that we have some say over, they're the ones, and then they can suffer the retribution in terms of the ballot box if they pass policies we don't like. I mean, that's how it's supposed to work.
It seems like there's these two threads. I actually brought this up with my de Blasio conversation, and he was like, oh, you actually, you kind of know what the progressive era was about. He was like, it was very trivial in a way, but civics education in America being what it is, any knowledge of it kind of seems interesting. You have two threads in progressivism, it seems like to me. You have a populism that gives rise to stuff like senators being elected instead of appointed, and William Jennings Bryan type of energy, the Bernie Sanders, we the people, democracy now. But then you have the Claudine Gay type, the Woodrow Wilson, Princeton, expert elite class. The people are stupid. Let's create the Fed, which is totally unaccountable. independent agency. Oh, the most progressive Elizabeth Warren concocts an agency, and let's house it in the Fed and have the Fed print its budget. And like the least democratic institution, I'm talking about the Consumer Product Safety Commission or whatever it is, the CFPB.
The Consumer Protection. Yeah, they're terrible.
It's like the least democratic institution maybe ever conceived in American history by the so-called progressive Elizabeth Warren. How do you co-host a show with I would say, like, the ideological spectrum on Rising, tends to be broad.
Yeah.
You've got people just are like socialists. How do you understand the threads of progressivism, even as you kind of interact with the people on your show?
You're right that that's a very smart difference you're articulating between kind of the technocratic elite progressive liberalism and progressive left type people. My audience has a substantial audience of people who I think they think of themselves as populists, and for them that actually spans a lot of right-left issues. The audience under the previous host, Crystal and Sagar, who were hosted the show 3 years ago before I came aboard, it got a big audience of pro Bernie Sanders people, and so the audience was very left in a lot of ways. Although what does left mean on foreign policy now, right? That kind of aligns with what the right thinks on foreign policy. When COVID hit, I noticed a split on the left, even in terms of the audience, is that. Along exactly those lines, the people who are like, trust the experts are Fauci and Birx and the CDC and the people in government, they've got this, man. And the people on the left who are anti-pharmaceutical companies and you see that in like the trajectories of the careers of people like Glenn Greenwald and Kim Iverson, who was hosting my show for a while, or Jimmy Dore or Russell Brand, going one way, and then the other people going the other way. So that is a very important difference. Now, as a libertarian, I also think populism is flawed in a lot of ways. I think the novel insight that libertarianism has is that the populism versus technocratic elite, they're fighting over, well, the elites are bad and evil and morally depraved and can't run our society. The people know what they want. And then the elites are saying, no, the people have no expertise. They don't understand policy. They would vote for bad policies. The elites know. What our observation is that, well, the elites are bad and wrong, and the people are bad and wrong. Everyone is bad at making decisions for others.
Yes.
Everyone is bad at governing someone else's life. So what we want to do is take that decision making out of the power of the elites, but also out of the power of the people. I don't want my life decided by other people if they have a graduate degree or not. They're no better at it than anyone else. So I think that's our distinguishing characteristic, libertarians.
There's the old H.L. Mencken saying that the people know what they want and deserve to get it good and hard.
Yep, there's a lot of truth to that.
If you like this clip, you should check out the full video and all the other great content we've got at Dad Saves America. So be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring that bell so you won't miss our new stuff as it drops each week.